Hello everybody and welcome back to the TimeShot server with me, Starrlett. Now, if you can't tell already by that one sentence that I've spoken, I am sick. This is a couple of days after I got back from the Insomnia Gaming Festival, and I caught some sort of terrible cold or something, so my nose is a little bit... So I apologize in advance, but I really wanted to get some stuff recorded. I'm going stir crazy. I always hate being sick because I always get so bored so quickly. So I'm going to push forward and record a little bit. But today I wanted to do another chatty episode. There's a motorcycle right outside my house, and one of my window panes is missing right now, so I can't close my window properly. But I wanted to do another talky episode. Now, I was planning on having a bit more of a structured episode and not making it a talky one because my last few have been quite talky. And I do have a plan for what I want to do in my talky episode. I do want to get my interior of my spawn decorated, and I need to name my villager and things like that. That'll be in the next episode. I'll head back over there. But today I wanted to do a talky one. So I wanted to do something which is productive but didn't require me to concentrate too much on it. So what we're going to do today is do some terraforming of this mountain. This is my mountain that I'm going to be building on. It's a bit of a mess around the landscape at the moment. The sun is setting. I'll have to sleep soon. I've brought a bed with me. But you can see there's all these kind of crazy islands all around the mountain and things like that. And even though they're kind of cool, they're not what I want to work with for my build. This side of the mountain, it's a little bit crazy down there. So I'm going to be starting to terraform this. Now, this is going to be a big project just to terraform this alone. I also need to do a portal on the top there so I can actually get up there a bit quicker. But for now, we're just going to pillar up, I think. But yeah, it's quite a hefty project to do, but it needs to be done, so I thought most of it's probably going to be grindy off camera or on stream work, but I might as well, while I have a talky episode I want to talk about, so there's an island up there I want to get rid of as well. While there's a talky episode, I might as well just get straight stuck into it and talk to you guys while I work on it a little bit. So I'm just going to sleep and I'll be back with you in just a second once I'm at a better position, like on top of the mountain. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to deal with is this little jutting out thing here. Now, there's going to be a lot more detail put into the inside of this thing here, which you cannot see anything at the moment, but it goes all the way through the middle of the mountain, it looks like. So I'm probably going to fill in a bunch of this, but we're going to start just by getting rid of this. That'll give us some blocks as well, which means we can start pillaring up to those things there. So today I wanted to talk about something that's very relevant to me because I just got back from one. I want to talk about conventions and like meetups and meeting with online friends and things like that. Now, I did talk about online friendships in a past episode, and actually I just had a panel at Insomnia. I should probably explain what Insomnia is, because Insomnia isn't as well known as things like Minecon or PAX East and other big conventions like that. So for those of you who don't know, Insomnia is the UK's biggest gaming festival, and it covers like a whole range of things. There's indie games there's a brown sheep over there, hello. There's indie games there was like robot fighting and drone racing this year. There's Minecraft sections as well. There's loads of like PlayStation and Xbox things, and just tons of stuff going on. It's like all kinds of games, and there's cosplay as well, and it's a convention that I've been to like 4 times. I think this is my 4th time going to it. My first one was back in Insomnia 48, which I think I was like 18 there or 17, something like that. And now I'm 21 and I've just been to my 4th one, and like I don't know really, like I'm not going to talk about like how good it was or what went on and things like that, because I've kind of talked about that in a recap vlog already, which should be up on my channel by now, so you can go watch that if you wanna. But I'm going to be talking about just generally like meeting up with friends and conventions and like goodbyes, especially because I'm going through a really rough patch right now, having just come home from Insomnia, and the week before that was Brits and Butts, which for those of you who don't know, it's a 72-hour live stream gaming marathon which raises money for charity, and it took place at my house, so I had like a bunch of my friends taking part all around my house. So it was basically 2 weeks of seeing like so many of my online friends that I don't normally see. So it was an incredible experience, but at the same time, now that it's over, it hits really, really hard, especially having had that fun for such a long period of time. And I'm kind of going through a weird patch right now where I don't feel like I'm really, you know, in sync with the rest of the environment around me. I don't feel like, you know, I've got a schedule going anymore because I've been so used to not having a schedule. You know, like, I pre-recorded a bunch of videos, and then I haven't recorded since. Like, this is my first time recording on TimeShot in about 2 weeks, and so it always takes me a little while to get back into routine, but it's even more difficult this time because of having these things so side by side. And I'm never one who's very good with the goodbyes. I always tend to be the one who cries and, you know, hugs really hard and hugs for a long time and will refuse to let you go for ages. And goodbyes this time were especially difficult, I think, just because of the point I am in my life. So I've just graduated university, and I've just got home from that, and summer was like my last hurrah before going into the real world, I feel. But at the same time, I'm not entirely set up for like a job yet. You know, I haven't got an actual job yet. I'm still applying for places, and a lot of my friends are going back to university, whether they still have a degree to finish, whether they're going back for like a master's or to become a teacher. They're all kind of going back and getting on with their lives and having their own little mini things happening around them, and I feel like that's not really happening for me right now, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have university anymore, and so it was really difficult to have to go back home after all this, because I knew that once I got back home, this is me now trying to sort out my whole life and me trying desperately to find a job and things like that. So these goodbyes were especially difficult, but also because of the people I was hanging out with. I was hanging out with a lot of people who were from Brits and Butts, who were doing the charity gaming live stream with me. Edson was there. Obviously, you guys know Edson from this server. Edson's one of my closest online friends, so it was really, really difficult to say goodbye to him. Wow, that's a lot of blocks. So it all kind of hit me at once, where I'd had a couple of weeks of hardly any sleep and being really stressed about getting things organized, and then I'd had no sleep and insomnia, and then colliding with like everybody who is bringing all of their germs all into one big expo hall. So I was bound to get sick, so I'm not surprised. Oh, that's what hit my glass. My glass of orange juice to keep me fueled while I'm sick. I'm not surprised that I'm sick, but I think it's a little bit more than that for me, and I think it's not just a physical kind of sickness, it's a bit of an emotional homesickness is the wrong word, but in a way it's like friendship sickness. It's like, I've been so used to hanging around these people for so long. I say for so long, 2 weeks might not seem like a long time, but it is a long time, but it went by so quickly, and now I'm at a little bit of a loss for what to do. In a way, I'm trying to get back into routine, and it's just incredibly difficult to do that, and I'm just struggling a bit, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And that's okay to struggle. It's, you know, it's bound to happen. This was probably the most internet people for the longest period of time that Edson's hung out with, so I know that he's found it quite difficult to get back into regular routine. We all have, in a lot of ways. It's always very difficult to come away from these kinds of things, and I guess I just wanted to talk about that kind of experience a bit, because I know that a lot of people say to me and say to other people whenever they have con blues, they're like, well, at least you got to go to this convention, or, you know, hey, at least you made it, I can't afford to go, or, you know, my parents wouldn't let me, or I'm not old enough, or, you know, I was busy at the time, or it's too far away. And I get that, I really, really do. I am someone who has had my heart been broken by not being able to make it to, like, you know, PAX East or something, or to make it to Minecons in the past, up until the one that was in London, which I can make it to. So I do understand completely that it might seem absurd to see someone complaining about going to convention, because I tend to say this is like my catchphrase, I feel, at the end of every convention. I'm always like, I'm never going back to another convention again. It hurts too much to say goodbye. And that is true to an extent, because again, I struggle a ton with goodbyes. I mean, nobody's good at goodbyes, but I know a lot of people who are kind of quite nonchalant about them, and they're like, I'll see you soon, kind of thing. And I just can't deal with that. I can't do that, because I don't know, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, I guess. I guess that's something to always kind of consider about me, which a lot of you may not necessarily know. I cry when I'm sad, and I laugh when I'm happy, and I'm always one of the loudest to laugh, and always one of the ones to cry the most, and, you know, sometimes it can be a bit of an issue, a bit of a problem, or it can get in the way, but for the most part, I don't mind that I wear my emotions on my sleeve, because it just shows other people around me how much I care about them. You know, if I'm crying into someone's, you know, shoulder or into their chest or whatever when I'm saying goodbye to them, then at least they know that I care so much for them and had such a... Oh, hello, skeleton. Go, get out here. Oh, good. Get out. Get out of here. Yo. 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 There we go. Goddamn. At least they know that I care about them and I had such a good time with them that I just can't bear to say goodbye. So I personally see no problems with wearing my heart on my sleeve, but it does mean that it just hits me on a really deeply emotional level saying goodbye. And this time was a very strange one for me because I was very numb. I was very, very numb with my emotions, and I hardly cried. Ow. And I hardly cried. I shot myself with the arrow in the... Oh no, I got a glitch. I shocked myself with how much I didn't cry this time. Like, I was very surprisingly emotionless, and I was kind of explaining it to people as well, like, I don't know why I'm like this, you know, normally I'm always the first one to cry, and this time I'm finding it so difficult to cry, and all I can think of is that it was just such a draining experience for me, emotionally, stress-wise, body-wise, things like that, that I don't think I had anything left in me to actually properly cry about it, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess it's just another reason why it's kind of hit me so hard. But the thing about conventions is, the worst part about, you can only sleep at night, it's almost night, I'll be there in a minute, the worst part about conventions is the final day, and I don't mean the final few hours before you say goodbye to everyone, the final day. So, our final day, for a bunch of us, was the Monday of Insomnia. Insomnia is a 4-day convention, and it ended on Monday, but I had to leave on Sunday, because, oh, there's a block glitch here, let's log out, log back in. I had to leave on Monday morning, and I missed the last day of the convention, because I, had to get back for family do, which meant that I, missed the last day of the convention, but it also meant that I knew I was gonna wake up on Monday and then have to leave. Now, Sunday, even though I knew I'd have Monday morning and I had all of Sunday with everyone, Sunday was extremely difficult for a lot of us, and a lot of us were very quiet that day because we knew that the end was coming. And even though it's the kind of thing where it's like, we're only here to do this, like, you know, maybe even one time, I might not see some of you again, or I'm not going to see some of you for at least a year, even with that in mind, we couldn't enjoy the moment nearly as much just because saying goodbye, we knew it was coming, and no matter how much we thought, okay, we're just going to enjoy our final day here together, you know, there's no point in wallowing because we'll just be wasting it, we couldn't not snap out of there, or at least I couldn't. I know a couple of others couldn't either. We had that in the back of our mind always, and that was honestly just so sucky, because that's almost half of the time we had at the convention gone to us just feeling like, oh no, it's going to be over soon, I'm so sad. So that was definitely a very difficult thing, and I think, you know, conventions are such a curse in a weird way when you're meeting your online friends, because say you've never met one of your best online friends ever, then at least you know your friendship revolves around messaging each other and Skyping each other and things like that, and no matter how much you think, oh, it'd be so cool to hang out in real life, you haven't hung out in real life yet, so you can imagine what it's like and yearn for it. But I think hanging out with an online friend in real life is so much better than you could ever imagine it being. At least for me personally, that's my experience. But it is also it's just a different beast altogether, hanging out with people IRL versus online. So for me, when I meet people at conventions, it's a two-sided coin, where one side is, oh, it's so great, I finally get to hang out with you, look at us, we're playing Exploding Kittens and drinking together and doing all these fun games together and exploring the city together, and it's great. And that part is awesome, but the flip side is, at least for me personally, I start to get used to hanging out with them in a real life setting and liking the real life setting more, which means that when you go back to hanging out online, it feels wrong in a way. It feels wrong to not have them right there in the room with you, to not be able to just poke them in the face, or to not be able to, like, you know, jab at them and crack a joke, or, you know, be like, hey, let's go do this, or like go to them and easily say, hey, can I pull you aside for a few minutes to talk to you if you're struggling. And I think that's one of the worst things about conventions. I guess what I'm trying to do here is highlight the bad things about conventions, because I feel like, as someone who has been in that situation where I didn't go to a convention for the longest time and was very jealous of people, I think it is important to identify the good and the bad. Because conventions are so much fun. They're so great. But whenever I go to conventions, it's always to hang out with the people, and it's not for the convention itself. And I know that's the same for a lot of people. And you know, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. But it does mean that saying goodbye is always so difficult. And when you get home and you realize you're back to talking at people through Skype or through Discord or, you know, through Twitter messages or whatever, you realize, okay, we're back to this again now. How can we possibly go back to this after hanging out for so long in a real life situation? It doesn't feel right anymore. We should be friends living close to each other. And I'm lucky that a lot of my closest friends do live in the UK, but I also have a bunch that don't live in the UK and live in America or live in, you know, Australia or something like that. And so it is very difficult to kind of know that I'm far away from them. And yeah, I think people underestimate how incredibly emotionally draining conventions actually are on many levels. And I think that's just something I wanted to talk about today because it is happening to me right now, and it's very difficult to, I feel like it's very difficult for me to say publicly, hey, I'm actually really missing everyone and I'm struggling and things like that, because a lot of the same responses that I get are, you'll see them again, or you'll see them soon, or you can at least talk with them online, or you can game with them online, or, well, just enjoy the memories that you had there, you know, at least you could go to a convention and see them, at least you went. And I think that just shows a real lack of empathy and understanding for what conventions are like. It's not like being invited to a party at high school and you're like, oh, there'll be other parties, I'll see these people that are in my high school again at school tomorrow or something. It's a case of, I might not see these people for months, I might not see them for years, I might not see some of these people ever again. And certainly having these exact people in this exact location at this point in time is never going to happen again. Even if some of the people I do see again at the same convention, not every single person could ever be there again. And that's always a really hard reality to come back to after being at a convention. And it's one that I think a lot of people don't realize. It's not easy and simple enough to just say, well, at least I was there, at least I had the memories. You know, there's been times where I've looked back on conventions and I've been so happy to have had those memories, but at the same time, it's hurt so much to look back on them that I've kind of been like, I almost wish I wasn't there. Uh-oh, my pick. Oh god, my good pick. Oh no. Is it broken? I don't think it's broken. I need to mine something that's gonna mend it. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, let's do this real quick then. I don't think it's broken yet. It sounded like it broke, but I think it's not quite broken yet. Let's mine some, I think there was some stone. Some, oh, hello friends. Yo. Please mend my pick. Please. Oh, yo, I can hear you. Yo, get away from me. Yo. I'm not ready for this. I'm not equipped for this. I'm hungry. I'm hangry. Ow. Yo. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to have a deep conversation here. I was getting all teared up, zombie, and you interrupt me. Get out of here. You gonna mend my pick? Or is my pick already just so broken it doesn't exist? I'm pretty sure it exists still. I don't know if it's mending at all. Durability 2. Come on. Hey, yo, Skelly, you're next. Come here. But I think that is something I just wanted to address a little bit. The fact that it's never as easy as, well, at least you had these memories. It never is that easy. And a lot of people just... Come here. Thank you. Has that mended my... Oh, it has mended my pick a little bit. Hey, there we go. Alright, let's go mine some coal real quick, just so we can actually properly mend this pick a little bit more, because I didn't realize how low it was, and I don't want this pick to break, because it's my only Silk Touch pick, it's my only Fortune pick right now. And I'd quite like to have this mended, thank you very much. I will be terraforming all this anyway, so it doesn't matter that I'm mining out pockets of coal. But if you're someone who hasn't gone to a convention yet and you really want to, then just make sure you realize that it isn't all rainbow and sunshines and, oh, it's going to be a great time, we're going to have so much fun, and that's going to be it. Like, it is hard work going to conventions. And it's hard work also because you don't necessarily get to hang out with everyone you want to. There were so many people this time that I didn't manage to say hi to, who I'd seen in past conventions, and we promised we'd hang out again, and then we just never did. So it is incredibly difficult to kind of... Oh, there's a cave here. Oh, hello, lady. Let's, don't mind me, I'm just gonna block you off. I think it is just something that people need to realize. It is so draining to go to conventions. It is absolutely heartbreaking to say goodbye to people and going back to just talking on Skype. Is this mending it at all? A little bit, not much. Oh, I need to mine better things besides coal, I guess. And I think it's just important to take everything you see on camera with a pinch of salt, because the things that you see at conventions are, you know, people having fun and laughing and drinking together and playing games together and interviewing people and meeting big YouTubers and hanging out with big YouTubers, and it's not quite that. There's always more to it than you see on and off camera, and a lot of the times you don't see the tears that unfold after saying goodbye to people, and you don't see the blues afterwards, where people are sort of just sitting sad in their rooms like, what do I do now? How do I get back into this routine? And yeah, I think it's just something that should be taken with a pinch of salt. The fact that conventions are just this great, amazing thing that everybody should always have the opportunity to go to, because while I do agree that everybody should have a taste of a convention at some point in their lives, it's not as easy as just saying it's incredible and leaving it at that. It is an incredible experience, but it's also one which you need a lot of strength to get through, especially after it's done, because it can just be hell. It could just be absolute hell to have to say goodbye to your friends and not know when you're gonna see them next. So yeah, I guess that's my kind of thoughts on conventions. Now, convention blues is another thing I wanted to talk about. How to get over convention blues. Because, again, there's going to be people who have gone to conventions who are watching this. And, you know, just as much as I think it's important to have fun, it's also important to look after yourself after a convention's past. So what do I do with my convention blues? I've been to quite a few conventions now. As I said, this is my 4th Insomnia. I've also been to Rezzed in the past, I've been to Minecon in the past, and I've done these Brits and Butts charity marathons, which means it's not a convention, but it's the same kind of idea of seeing online friends for an extended period of time, and then having to deal with not seeing them again afterwards. So I do think it's something which I have quite a lot of experience with, and especially because I'm quite young and maybe emotionally imbalanced according to some people. This only has 7 durability left on it. We need more things, or maybe we need to make a new pick. We could just make a stone pick, I guess. I have no wood on me though. I got a diamond pick. What am I talking about? I've got enough diamonds. I can make a new diamond pick if this one runs out. I think, for me, the thing I struggle with the most, you have to identify what you struggle with the most. That is the important thing. So some people, it's just a case of really missing their friends, in which, not so much in an IRL setting, but just generally missing them, in which case, you know, calling them up on Skype is, you know, a great idea, or organizing like a tabletop sim night or a Minecraft mini games night or something with them. Like, that's a great idea. Just organizing things that you can do, hanging out with them, just so you don't lose touch. Interacting on Twitter is also a great thing, just getting back into Twitter shenanigans and things like that with new friends and old friends. It's always a great way to keep in touch with people on a regular basis. For me personally, the thing I struggle with the most is routine. And so, like, I was talking earlier about the fact that I felt like I was really out of routine, and that's because I am used to, having had a couple of weeks of just hanging out with people, I'm used to a routine where people are in my house and I don't need to record. Instead, I'm hanging out with these people and going out and doing things with them. And I haven't recorded in a few weeks. So to go back on, you know, and streamed as well. I haven't technically streamed solo in a few weeks. So to go back to doing solo streams after this for a long time and to go back to recording, like, I had to work up a lot of energy and, you know, wanted to know what I wanted to talk about, and I was quite actually anxious before recording this, just because it's like, I haven't recorded in such a long time. How does one do this? So I think the most important thing to make myself personally feel more settled after a convention is to try and really stick to a routine and go straight back into it. So make a list of all the things that you would have done in your normal routine before this, and you just got to take it bit by bit. Don't overload yourself with work. Don't go jumping immediately back into your routine if it's going to drain you too much. But I think it's important to try and settle back down as quickly as possible. So for me, that's quite difficult right now because I'm not going to university. I don't really have any kind of guidance in life right now, but I'm back into recording with this episode. I've recorded a couple of vlogs as well. I'm going to be back into streaming tomorrow. I took a break today because I'm sick still and I don't really want to spend all of my energy streaming, especially because I knew I'd have to record and I don't think I'd have the energy for both. So I'm going to be going back into streaming tomorrow, and I think once I'm back into streaming tomorrow, I'll feel a lot better about things. And things like making sure you have regular meal times and sleep times again. If there's people you regularly Skype and play games with, then, say, hey, I'm back now, let's do this. So routine is definitely something which is what I struggle with the most. And I think by starting to fall back into this routine, like yesterday was terrible. I felt so awful yesterday, but that was in part because I didn't want to go back into a routine yet. I was too tired and I'm like, I'll do it later. So I think that routine is definitely a thing that can really help you after a convention. You've been out of a routine for a long time, you've been seeing friends, and you need to get used to the fact that you're back in your everyday life, at least for the time being. And settling down back into your routine really helps you with that. This is a cool cave. I might have to go caving in here. So that's one of the biggest things for me. Regular eating and regular sleeping, also very, very important. You tend to lose sight of that when you're at conventions. That's especially true for me. I missed a few meal times while I was at Insomnia, and Insomnia by name, Insomnia by nature. I probably got an average of 4 hours, maybe 5 hours if I was lucky, a night over the course of the last 2 weeks. So it's been a very trying time for my health and my body. And my body is definitely being like, please, you need a lot of sleep right now, Penny. What are you doing? Please get more sleep. So that's something I'm definitely going to have to do. And that is definitely something that it's important to start settling back into ASAP. I'm trying to look for this lava. There's a lava thing somewhere, and I don't know where it is now, but I really want to find it and get rid of it. I think it might have been down here, actually. So eating and sleeping regularly is definitely an important thing. Where is lava? Hello? Was it down here? There. Oh, there's a tiny lava pool here. I don't think this is what I was looking for. I'll take it. I will get rid of you. Come here. There we go. But so I've already got some plans for what I want to record on TimeShot, and I've got some plans for vlogs I want to do, and also maybe starting like another little mini series, and also some games I want to stream. So I am starting to get back into that routine, and because I live with my family right now, it means I eat. We have meal times all together. That's like a family thing that we do. It means that I'm getting regular meal times as well. Sleep is still a little bit difficult for me right now. I'm finding it kind of difficult to fall asleep, but which is something which I'll talk about probably in a later video. My kind of sleeping struggles. It's not quite insomnia. I'm just like sometimes a very active sleeper if my sleep's been disrupted. Which is very difficult to explain, so I'll have to talk about it in a later video, not in this one. But my sleep is starting to get back into place, slowly but surely. So I am getting there. It's just a very slow healing process this time, I think, especially because I'm sick. So you guys might have to bear with me for a bit if I have a little bit of irregular content. I'll still be trying to get out a couple of TimeShot episodes a week, at the very least, plus like streams on TimeShot and streams of other games and episodes of other games. I think that's going to be it from me for today. This episode's already about half an hour long. My episodes tend to be very long, I've realized. Whoopsie daisies. I did a bit of terraforming. I got rid of one island, and that took long enough. Like, getting rid of these islands is going to be such a pain in the butt. But it has to be done. It has to be done so I can start tidying this landscape up. And again, this is something I'm working on side by side with my spawn building. I don't want to move away from spawn quite yet, especially because I'm not done with my building there yet. But terraforming is something I knew I'd always have to do, and it would be a very long, arduous process, especially because a lot of the stuff I have to terraform is very high up. So this is going to be something I'll be working on stream and also off camera a little bit as well. So that's why I wanted to get a little bit of a head start on it today. Still got to clean those 2 islands out and this one up here too, and just generally the landscape around here, I want it to be a lot flatter. I'm going to be probably plateauing that out a little bit. There's a couple of, you know, holes and caves and things like that, which I want to get rid of around here, just so it's a lot easier to sort of walk around the mountain, a lot nicer to navigate. But that'll come in either a future episode or it'll already be done off camera. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Next time I will hopefully be less sick sounding, slightly, maybe. And we'll be working on my interior of my building at spawn. So much love to you all, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!